Spider-Man 2 opens next Wednesday, or actually Tuesday at midnight, and I think it may be the best superhero movie I have ever seen.
Oh yes, we are up to that point in this series, and this is like our second review. Yep. This is known to be the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time by loads of people. And it is also the movie where Peter Parker can just never get a fucking break.
Oh, right.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ground One channel. I'm sorry that I'm being a little bit quiet. It's just I'm in another room and I gotta be a little bit more quiet. So yeah, welcome back to our little Spider-Man movie review series where I'm gonna be reviewing every single Spider-Man movie that has never been reviewed on this channel before, going through the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy and the Mark Webber Amazing Spider-Man films, and that's it. And the movie I am reviewing today is known to be one of the greatest superhero movies to ever exist. Whoa. And is even known to be the best Spider-Man movie to ever exist. Holy shit. I mean, I guess it's safe to say that it has easily the most funniest laugh that has been put into a movie. It's so funny that I've used it so many times in my videos at this point. And the movie is Spider-Man 2. The successful Spider-Man 2. Holy crap. I'm pretty sure every single Spider-Man fan at this point has praised this movie, talked about how it is the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, how it represents the character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man so perfectly, and everyone just adores this fucking movie. And honestly, like, the amount of video essays that have been done on this film by a bunch of different other YouTube creators is just... I just can't keep up with it. I can't. You know, everyone has put out their thoughts about what they think of this movie, their opinions and stuff, and now it's finally my turn. So, what did I think of Spider-Man 2? Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. I think this movie is great. I think this is a very well-made movie. You know, after doing the first movie, telling the classic Spider-Man origin story, they have to obviously do their own thing, and I think they really nailed it with this movie, with a bunch of, you know, just really creative things done with this movie by, you know, everyone, like the actors and the director and everyone working on this movie did such a great job. They worked their asses off coming up with their own story and stuff, and they did a great job. But I'm just gonna say it now, I do honestly kind of prefer the first movie. I'm not gonna be one of those type of people who say that this is my favorite Spider-Man movie, because it's not. I'm just going to say that I do prefer the first movie. I just enjoy the classic Spider-Man origin story being told. I just enjoy that a little bit more. But for what they did with this movie, just telling their own story, they did it. They really nailed it. And they did a great job. And yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the characters. Peter Parker, balancing his life as both himself and Spider-Man, and he cannot take it anymore in this movie. Like, seriously, everything that's happening in his life is just, everything's going wrong, and nothing's going right. Every single day is just, is bad things happening to him over and over and over again. He can't take it. He can never have a break, and it's just pretty much him just trying to live his normal life while also being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and it was very, very engaging. And yeah, Peter Parker in this movie is just, his life is like a lot worse. He's just, nothing's going right, and he has to, you know, just live his normal life and be Spider-Man. It's just not going right for him. And yeah, I like what they did with the story. It was very creative, and it was very engaging, and it was good. It was like the typical, you know, classic Peter Parker story being brought to live action, and it was done very, very well in this movie. Yeah, so Peter Parker is just being beaten to the ground over and over and over, and nothing's going right in his life. And yeah, and you really do feel for him, because he's such a likable character and stuff, and yeah, and like that, he's also very, very likable to everyone he knows and stuff. He's a very likable character, and just seeing him get just shit on every single day is just, it's really heartbreaking. And yeah, like, seriously, even when it's freaking
pizza time,
that doesn't even go right.
I'm not paying for those.
And of course, we got Peter's love interest, Mary Jane Watson, coming back in this movie, and I really didn't like her character in this movie. I thought she was pretty bad, and yeah, I really didn't like her. She was very unlikable, and she was a lot worse in this movie. She was way, 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 way worse, and, you know, she was just pretty much scolding Peter all the time, and, you know, just kind of, I think, making him possibly jealous. I don't know what she was trying to do in this movie. You know, she had a new boyfriend and something, and I don't know, she was just scolding Peter the whole time, who was already going through a tough time, and I just did not like her character in this movie. Seriously. Like, she says a really dumb, in one scene, she says something really stupid, while Peter just asks if they want to get some
Chow mein.
Peter, I'm getting married.
He just wanted to get some chow mein, whatever the hell that is, and he freaking her just going, oh, I'm getting married, and remember that, I'm getting married, like, he just wanted to get some fucking chow mein, oh my god. So, yeah, I found Mary Jane, to my opinion, in this movie, just very irritating, and I just really didn't like her in this movie. I will say, they did do a really good job at making me hate her. I really hated her in this movie. I didn't like her all that much. I found her more likable in the first movie, and, yeah, I don't know. I don't think she really gets any better in the third movie, but I don't know. We'll have to see. And, you know, but yeah, obviously the best part between her and Peter is when frickin' Peter finally admits something.
Do you love me or not?
I don't.
Good on you, Peter.
Kiss me.
What?
Jokes aside, guys, Mary Jane in this movie was very irritating, very unlikable, and I will say that they did do a good job at making me hate her. If that was meant to be the point, but if not, then damn. So yeah, I didn't really like Mary Jane in this movie. That's just to me, personally, and yeah. So I guess now we'll start talking a little bit about the villain. Dr. Octopus, played by Alfred Molina, and he did a really good job in the role of Dr. Octopus. He made the character so much more entertaining with his performance. He did a really, really good job, and I gotta praise him for his performance. He did great. He did a really good job at bringing this character to life, and with, you know, Dr. Octopus and his tentacles, his arm thingies, and they look really cool in this movie, and thankfully, they are practical. Yeah. They were built. The tentacles were built on set. And yes, I'm in another room. I've moved into a different room. And yeah, I hope you like the lights in the background. They look pretty cool. So yeah, they were actually built on set. On the set of the movie, they really built these tentacle arms for Alfred Molina to have. And they were not just full-on CGI crap. No, they were actually built. I mean, yeah, most of it, a little bit of it was CGI in the movie. But they actually built it. They actually had, like, built like these tentacles on set that were practical. And that's another one thing I praised about the first Spider-Man movie, is that there were a lot of things that were practical. There were real sets and stuff. Instead of it all just being kind of green screen heavy CGI type stuff. But they had sets, they had practical like effects. And yeah, that's just, I really praise these movies for having that type of stuff. They really worked their asses off these movies and put a lot of passion and heart into it. And yeah, overall, Dr. Octopus was a pretty fun villain. I do kind of prefer Willem Dafoe's portrayal of the Green Goblin in the first movie a little bit more. I was more into his character a bit more. But, you know, because Dr. Octopus in this movie is kind of just this villain whose kind of just main focus is to just, I guess,
blow up the city. You can sleep soundly tonight.
But overall, there are still some really good things about his character, and Dr. Octopus is a very entertaining villain, played very well by Alfred Molina, and yeah, he's a very good villain. I want to talk a little bit about the action scenes, and holy balls, they are a major improvement over the first film. The one thing that this film does better than the first film is the action scenes. Yes, there's a lot more CGI heavy stuff, but for a movie that came out back in 2004, I can easily go with it. And honestly, the CGI doesn't even look that bad. It's not like, oh my god, that looks terrible, CGI, oh my god. No, the CGI actually isn't that bad in this movie. The CGI is really not bad. There's actually a couple of shots, like a lot in the action scenes, where the CGI just looks really good. And yeah, I love the action scenes. They are awesome. They are so much fun to watch. They are a major improvement over the first film. And yeah, I love the action scenes in this film. They were great. And with all the fights between Doc Ock and Spider-Man, they were so much fun to watch, and I loved it. And of course, there is the little story element about Peter obviously losing his powers because he just doesn't really enjoy being Spider-Man anymore. He doesn't enjoy being the web-slinging superhero anymore, and because of that, he just starts slowly losing his powers. And it's a very interesting story element. It's very creative, and you know, obviously doing their own thing, and it's actually a really interesting thing they decided to go with Peter giving up being Spider-Man. Obviously, with him not enjoying being Spider-Man, and obviously living a shitty life. It's really good and very creative, and obviously it leads up to the really cheesy, silly scene of Peter just walking down the street while there's like music in the background that's playing. Raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. And yeah, it's a very, very silly scene, and it's kind of actually, that type of scene is actually kind of repeated in the next movie, in the third movie, in a way that we will obviously get into next time. Although I do prefer the first film, Spider-Man 2 is a very well-made movie with some really great action scenes, a very entertaining villain, and just so much heart and effort put into this movie, and I just really love this movie. It's very good, very great, very amazing, very spectacular, and yeah, it's a very, very great and very well-made movie. And would I recommend you guys go check out Spider-Man 2? Well, I'm pretty sure every single Spider-Man fan have already watched Spider-Man 2, so I don't think that really matters. But if you're a person who just loves movies and enjoy watching movies, then I think you might find something out of this. You might actually find some enjoyment out of it. Maybe, so I'd say maybe give it a watch. And yeah, that's really all I can say. This is going to be the end of my review of Spider-Man 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, I hope you really enjoyed another fun little Spider-Man movie review, but that's not the end of it still. That's still not the end, because next time we will be looking at Spider-Man 3. And oh boy, I'm pretty excited. I am legitimately excited to review Spider-Man 3. I'm very excited. I can't wait to talk about... and talk about... and also talk about... and talk a little bit about, and that's all going to be really fun until we start talking about
I've fallen in love with someone else.
You'll get your review when you
Fix this damn door!